Hi everyone, welcome back. And as promised, this is going to be part of the official ink journal that I have. I was working in it for half a day yesterday and I thought I'd share it with you. And I think you've seen like the process of what I do, but also as much as I wanted to share the inks that I have in a per color family thing, I decided that I had to just make pink, purple, and gray all into just one video because I don't have that much inks. Well, those colors of inks. And if I wanted to get a move on with this ink swatch thing, I figured it was more practical to do it that way. So anyway, I should stop rambling. So this is the Nothing Planner, and I have made this into an ink journal. I think you've already seen this part, but this is not done yet. I know I still have a few more to add, so obviously I'm not including this in this particular one, but you're gonna see that I only have three pink inks. It's not really ideal for it to have its own video. And now we're gonna go to the actual swatches. And there you have my pinks. First in the pinks, I have here the Herbin's Nude. And this is not a very popular color for an ink. And there are a couple of reviews that said, well, a lot of reviews mentioned that they didn't like it at all. And I don't know why I have a bottle of it, but I kind of find it nice. And I tried it out first on the traveler's notebook inserts, and it wasn't bad at all. So anyway, this is your swatch of ink. There is, I don't think there's any shading or well, obviously there's no shimmer, but in case you want to see, this is how I did the swatches now. So you're gonna see a bolder writing because obviously I can't write big enough to give the ink justice, maybe if it had any sheening or shading. So I have that, and when I write in my usual handwriting, that's how it's gonna look like. I tried to make it a point that even if the inks are light, I wanted to just write something, or it's not just a sentence or two, but I want to see how it's gonna look like laid out on pages. And I know it's quite laborious to do this for all my inks, but I know at some point this is gonna save me a lot of time in the future because I'm not gonna remember all the inks and how they look like on paper. So this really helps. I think it's pretty legible. I don't see a problem, or find it difficult to read. Also, I forgot to mention I switched to my phone to film this first because I needed an easier angle to get closer to this watch. It's a long story that's kind of hard to explain, but really this is the best view that I can give, and I have natural light as you can see, so I have shadows and all that. But mainly I want to express that there is no additional lighting for you to see what the colors are or anything. So this is just as is the what the inks look like on paper. So I used a pilot penmanship fountain pen, and I just made it into like a fake dip pen kind of thing. And that's how I was able to do these writing swatches faster. If you want to check the bolder writing there, it's really no shimmer, no sheen or anything. It's really a simple ink, but I believe it's a limited edition because I tried to look for it in some stores and it's no longer available. And it's not really a very popular ink, so maybe that's why. But just in case you wanted to see it, this is how it looks like up close. The next ink I have is Wearingeul's White Rabbit, and this is my favorite pink ink. Although some say it's brown, But then if I put it against other brown inks, it looks pink. So since I don't have that much pinks anyway, I really consider it pink to begin with. And I love this pink. Maybe I know that I am not really fond of happy light colors. Seeing something this happy might shock some of you, but again, there's something about this shade that I really like it, and maybe because it's not offensively in your face, pink, kind of. So I feel like I like colors that have a little gray. So again, I have the thicker, bolder writing as if you had like bigger handwriting or like using a juicier fountain pen nib. Obviously, I just use the Kakimori brass nib for this, and I don't want to do the ink swatch live anymore, or like I don't want to film the process anymore since you know what I do, because it's going to take a while if I'm going to be writing stuff down, and more often than not these little ramblings are just whatever I can think of, so I can fill the spaces and give you an idea on what it's going to look like on your journal. And yeah, but definitely this is my favorite pink ink. Now the last pink that I have is J. Urban's. I am not gonna say this because one, I do not speak French, and I'm gonna ruin this, and I'm just gonna call this pomelo because it's giving pomelo. Honestly, I I don't remember using this much, but I did like that it's very rich or cute. And again, it's not like pink, offensively pink. It's more like a peach kind of thing. And I know I'm giving a horrible description for this, but well, it has low shading. I'm not sure if you can see or if I can make it appear that it's low shading, but that's how it is on paper. I'm really gonna try to share like close up shots of it, and I'd rather just move the book on the camera. So, because if I hold the phone, it's gonna shake and it's gonna make you dizzy. So that's gonna be a horrible idea. Now, all of these inks are relatively friendly on an extra fine pilot nib. So I don't really see a problem when using it for writing. Now, these inks are light, and I wanted to share this specific view on what it's going to look like if you do decide on picking these inks and seeing is it going to appear on your journals. I don't think it's good for everyday writing unless it's just you reading your stuff, but definitely this is not going to work for a corporate setting. That is what I have for pink inks. Now, the idea here is that sometimes the how to organize the ink swatch is really I don't want mix inks on my pages. So I know that if I do it this way and I keep it within 5 inks per layout, I can just leave 2 spaces here. And if and when I do get new pink inks, it's going to be fine because it's just going to go here. And if I don't, it remains clean. And I think that's what's really making it work for me. The next set of inks are the purple inks. And these are from 3 different brands, and we're gonna zoom into it. This is Wearingeul's No Longer Human. It has a unique purple gray kind of thing going on, and it has very low shading. Also, it dries really quickly. I think all of these inks dry fairly quickly, that it never gave me any issues or problems. Now, this is what it looks like with a bolder writing style. And there is a bit shading you're gonna see, but obviously it's not really a big deal for me because with how small my writing is, it's I kind of accepted that with my usual nib, it's not gonna show any shading or sheening. But then again, I like this ink, and obviously the inks that you're gonna see here I genuinely like them because I used to have more, but then I sold a lot of it when I wanted to downsize, and it just felt more practical for me. So that is your no longer human. So it looks kind of flat right there. The next ink is Sailor's Kangyou, and this is the one that has like different shades coming out, and you're gonna see that there's like green also. But at first I thought it was gray, and then because I didn't have purple at that time, but then it looked gray, and when I put it against gray, it looked purple. So it's purple now. You're gonna see more of the ink's properties when you use a juicier nib to write. So it shows a bit there, but not as much here, obviously. And when you use it for your regular writing, it's not going to show much or any at all. But again, it's a soft purple that I don't mind using. And out of all the sailor ones, I think I only have Kangyou and Kitsune Beori, which is another. It's a brown ink, and I'm gonna be sharing that in some other video. Now, last is I have here Robert Oster, and this is part of their mud set or something like that, mud pack, and this is a royal purple ink, and it's very vibrant. It dries quickly. I don't think there's any shading, or is there? Oh yeah, there is. I'm sorry. And that's how it is close up. That's how it looks like in your thicker nibs and regularly writing there. I haven't used this as much because, again, I'm not really a fan of purple, and I didn't see myself having a need for so many purple inks that I was fine being left with these three inks that I genuinely like. So if you want to see them side by side, this is how they look without me trying to make you dizzy. And those are the purple inks that I have. Last in this group are the gray inks. And it's funny because these gray inks have very different undertones. And which is why you're going to be ending up like, did I really put them in the right color family? But yeah. So we're going to start with Diamine's Earl Grey. This was an ink that I slept on in because along like a backstory for this, I never really liked this brand before because when I tried ox blood on my hobonichi, it never dried. Like months on, it kept smudging, and I always thought it was the ink's problem, so I never bothered trying any of their inks again. And maybe it was for the best because if this was the quality that I got, or like it gave me this, I am sure that I would have gotten a lot more of them. The nice thing about them is also that they come in two distinctly sizes. The nice thing about them is they come in two sizes. So you have the smaller bottles and the bigger glass bottles. And I would have loved to have the small bottles. And yeah. So right here you're gonna see that it has a purple kind of thing. This is as close as I can get on camera for you to see the shading, and it's really one of the pretty gray inks that I have. On writing, it looks like this. It I feel like it's a bit wet sometimes because you're gonna see like if my A's are a little blobby, it's because I overestimated like how dry the ink was, but apparently it's not dry. So this is how it looks like on regular writing. It still gives a bit of shading, I think, because I can still see like the undertones of purple, and I'm not sure if it shows on camera. So hang on, I'm gonna try. I'm not sure if it shows up with this small, but again, like in real life, I can see the purple undertone. Next ink I have is Robert Oster's Graphite, and this was the very first ink that I was enabled to buy because it gave off like that kind of dark lead pencil feel, and I really like that. I like using pencils. I use a mechanical pencil most of the time, but yeah. So I want you to see that right there, and with your thicker nib, that's how it's gonna look like. Your regular writing, it's just very basic. It feels like just a flat matte ink and no smudging, which is really the best part. Another Robert Oster ink that I have that's gray is called Muddy Swamp, and this is another part of their mud pack. At first, this was kind of, I associated this more with blue, and then I saw that I had muddy water, so this had to be the gray one. Anyway, so I put this in the gray family. So in writing, it shows off a little more character if you're. I think all these inks are going to show a lot more character if you use a juicier nib, which is never going to happen for me, mostly. And regular writing, this is how it looks like. It does still show a bit of shading, which is kind of cool for that. Now, the last gray ink that I have is called Tim Woodman from Wearingeul. I like the inks of Wearingeul, and I remember that this was given to me by the brand, and I started using their inks even before they made me try it. So it just made me even more excited to try more of their inks because I know that I already like them to begin with, and trying out more of what they offer was just like icing for me. Now, this kind of makes you think, is it brown? Is it purple? Is it gray? When it's all that all together? Does that make sense? Now, again, there you go. This is how it looks like with your regular, with a thicker nib. And this is how it is with your regular writing nib. This is how they look like beside each other. And this is why I like this setup because it's so much easier to. I think sometimes swatches are a lot different from the way it looks like when they're written out, or especially because my writing is small. So this layout really helps me figure out things, how close they are to each other or how different the inks are from each other. So next I'm just gonna give you like a close up of each ink swatch. I'm really trying to get in as close as I can. I'm really trying to get in as close as I can. And if I'm shaking, I'm so sorry. So this is J. Urban's Nude. This is Wearingeul's White Rabbit. Another from J. Urban, it's Pomelo. And the name is right there, but it's Rusty Ancre. But please don't make me say it in French. So for the purpose of this video, it shall be Pomelo. Next are the purples. This is again Wearingeul's No Longer Human, Sailor's Kangyou, and Robert Oster's Muddy Crown. Last, these are the gray inks. This is Diamine's Earl Grey, Robert Oster's Graphite, Robert Oster's Muddy Swamp, and Wearingeul's Tin Woodman. That's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this way of sharing inks. I Let me know if you have any other suggestions on how I can share this properly. But definitely, I'll be taking still photos of these so you can see them over on Instagram for your reference. But also, I will list all the inks that I have swatched on the description box. And sadly, I really cannot film doing the swatch because if I did this, it's going to take forever because I like taking my time. And normally, the stuff I write here are little ramblings or if what I think of the inks, kind of. But again, it's really just that it makes it so much easier for me to see what it's going to look like on my journals without having to swatch all of the inks just before I use them. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye, guys.